Gives me great pleasure to bring on board Puneet Chhatwal, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer with Indian Hotels. Before I go to him, Indian Hotel stock is one of the biggest gainer in the F&O market today. Markets are excited about the fact that things have normalized and things are looking up. Now, shareholders are happy that numbers are looking strong. But Mr. Chhatwal, good morning. Customers like me are crying because we have to pay more to travel. Impossible to find a hotel room. Long weekend, no long weekend. It's getting difficult. This is business at its peak, looks like.
Yeah, not yet the peak. I think the peak is yet to come. I think there is a business recovery, and we are trending ahead of March. In March and April this month, and also for business on the books in May ahead of 19. However, having said that, 19 was 3 years ago. So we need to trend not just ahead of 19. We should look at 19 plus 20% as a hotel industry in general, but also Indian Hotels in particular going forward. That should be our, extended goal, or that should be our benchmark, also in light of the inflation that's coming in.
Now we can look at the numbers for the quarter gone by and understand, is that the trend, or talk about what the trends are in the month of April. What should we focus more on, the quarter gone by or the trends so far in the month of April?
I think both are equally important. The quarter gone by is important from the viewpoint that despite a third wave and almost a very, very subdued January, how the industry has been able to bounce back, and how the 6 weeks, let's say between middle of February to till end of March, helped in still having a decent Q4 or decent closing to the year. Having said that, April, especially aided by IPL in Mumbai, government delegations in Delhi, bounce back in corporate travel, especially in cities like Bengaluru and the commercial capital and state capital, is really helping the April, business on the books. So month to date, we are definitely far, far ahead of the 19 numbers. To give some perspective, I think the benchmarks that I just mentioned are not unrealistic to achieve. That is 2019 plus a double-digit growth at a minimum on the top line.
So can I safely say that this quarter operating leverage and financial leverage, that both will kick in, because now you're debt free, that will take care of the financial leverage part, and now business leverage has kicked in, especially from business travel. So Q1 of FY23, which is the current quarter, will be strikingly different from what you've reported even for the last quarter?
Normally it should be Nikunj, but we are living in a very uncertain environment, uncertain world. So because we are still at the beginning of the first month of, or the finishing of the first month only, I think in a few weeks from now, we would be in a better position to give that guidance. And because of that, we have announced yesterday to the analyst in our analyst call that we are going to do our capital market day and announce not only a plan for now and this year, but our plan for the next 4 to 5 years on the 23rd of May. So I think everyone will have more clarity on that date and in detail from us on all our businesses and all our aspirations as we've communicated in the past.
Mr. Chhatwal, hi, morning. So tell me, given that it's pretty close to full occupancy, most of your hotels, how many rooms are you currently operating at across geographies, and how much are you looking to add in this quarter?
Yeah, good morning. We have 235 hotel portfolio, of which 215 is in India, of which from the total we have 176 hotels in operation. Last year, we delivered on our promise of opening more than a hotel a month. So the year ended with 13 new hotels opened, 19 new signed. Today, we have industry-leading pipeline with 60 plus hotels in our pipeline. And this year, what we've communicated and guided the market is instead of 13, we will open anything between 18 to 20 hotels, which is like opening 1.5 hotel a month. And the next opening, which is due, is the next weekend, will be the second Taj in Kolkata near the airport. So we are very excited about that. It's with the same owner who's done Darjeeling with us. And we are really looking forward to these openings happening. And more importantly, some of these hotels we opened during COVID needed time to, ramp up, needed time to settle down, and that is happening now, except for leisure destinations which were full from the day one when the hotels opened, like Darjeeling, like Rishikesh, like Theog in Shimla. So I think it's all in all, after a long time, we have a reason to smile. After a long time, it's nice to hear from your channel saying rooms are full and you have to pay more. I wish you pay a little more than what you think you have to pay so that our industry comes back to a very healthy financial and other fundamentals.
I'm not sure if we are all smiles if you do increase your ARRs, but I'll come to that in just a second. Mr. Chhatwal, I was just going through a couple of reports, and most of them say that the key for you now is what's going to happen to the Ginger brand. Tell me, what kind of forecasts are you working with? As of now, I understand it contributes to about 40% of your pipeline. Is that really going to, hold the key now that business travel is coming back in a big way?
Yeah, Ginger together with Ama and Cumin is what we classify internally as our new business. And Ginger is an old name, but the whole brand was reimagined 3-4 years ago. And we are very excited as this year we will open the first trophy or flagship for the brand, that is the Ginger Santa Cruz, totaling 370 plus rooms. It will be a real big box Ginger and a big machine. And the second one of that kind will follow at the Bangalore airport in a couple of years, which is 350 rooms, which have signed with BIAL. That's Bangalore International Airport. And we hope to do a few more like that. This is really a very high margin business. And this kind of segment has proven to be extremely successful when it comes to scaling and driving margins in all the mature markets of the world. And as we continue to become a highly mature market on the domestic front, I think Ginger is well positioned to help the industry evolve in this segment. And we are very, very bullish. We think of the 18 to 20 openings that we are aiming for this year. I think 10 of those will come alone from the Ginger brand.
Now let's talk about the latest, which Nikunj and I must confess, Mr. Chhatwal, we are forever ordering from Cumin. Earlier, we had to go to Taj. Now Taj comes to us. And each time there is even a mention of Indian hotels, and we just quickly take out our phones and we're ordering from the Cumin app. In addition to that, what I wanted to understand is, now with Tata Neu as a platform coming on board, are you seeing more volumes come by for Cumin?
I think it will come. You see, Tata Neu was launched on 7th of April, and we are one of the first founding members and a very big supporter of this initiative. And we will do everything possible to keep supporting this initiative. And you are absolutely right. Brands like Cumin will really benefit in a disproportionate manner from the ability to drive revenue through such a platform. So we are very excited. And so is the Tata Neu team, because a part of them were already the members of the team that helped to do the Cumin app. So there is some kind of, a relationship which goes far before Tata Neu was started. It started with the Cumin app.
Mr. Chhatwal, good morning. This is Tara. So let's just stay with the Tata Neu app. 7th April was the launch. We've seen a press conference also since then in Mumbai. One of the things they were talking about was the loyalty points and how IHCL would be one of the biggest beneficiaries. Consumers' Taj points, maybe they couldn't use it for 2 COVID years, would be as good as cash. What's been the initial traction like?
Well, let me take an example. When we had not opened it to public and it was a closed user group, when the third wave came, we were able to leverage Tata Neu to drive occupancies. And I think this is the way it works. If I turn the clock back to 20 years ago, even in my own personal front, I would say we collected a lot of airline miles to upgrade when you travel privately with the family. So I think All these kind of initiatives will make Taj an aspirational brand to go to palaces and to resorts after you've collected enough loyalty points. But there will be immediate benefit to brands like Ginger, to brands like Human, even homestays, Vivanta. So we have a diverse brandscape, and each brand will benefit at a different price point and at a different timing. And as the app matures, as the platform matures, I am personally very bullish about the future. And we will, as I said before, we will be doing anything that makes good business sense to support all initiatives of Tata Neu.
Now, Mr. Chhatwal, your first answer to Nikunj was we need to look at 2019, go back to the levels, and 20% growth. Keeping all of that in mind, the way the reopening trade is also working, the last long weekend, nobody could get a hotel room in any part of the country, I think. Is it correct that maybe the Taj Group, Indian Hotels, is it battling attrition? Will it have to, go in for a wage inflation of sorts? If you're going to do that, you've already hinted in this interview that room rates are also about to go up.
Yeah, I think there is it's normal, 2 years there was been a focus on cost as the revenue levels in the first wave dropped to zero. So that's all you could do is control the cost. At some point, the business starts coming back, and also there has to be the normal wage settlements with the unions. There is an inflation issue in the market. But having said that, I think I feel a bit more positive than the normal situation is that all the work that we did in creating the pipeline will help us, because we will not only have a growth on the same store in terms of the top line, but we will also be assisted by not like-for-like growth. That means all our new properties that have opened in the last 2 years on an asset-light model, a model driven by fee-based business, our new businesses of homestay, home delivery, etc., and reimagination of our classic brands like the Chambers. I think we are very well positioned, except or save for any kind of a fourth or a fifth wave or anything which is beyond the reasonable control of the management.
FY23, do you think international tourism will also come back? Because that almost is that was a double-digit revenue, that became zero. It has not come back. And why is that I've not heard you mention it? Because you've talked about Cumin, you've talked about Chambers, you've talked about business travel, you've not used international travel.
That I can only say in Latin, mea culpa, it's my fault. I did not intend to omit it. I think international travel is going to come back. So as and when markets, normalize and are, not suffering from the kind of volatility, positive or negative, I think the international business will kick in. I'm also very optimistic about the international travel increasing more than ever because of the reputation capital India has been able to build in terms of how it has dealt with COVID versus many other, mature markets in the world. So, and I think India has a lot to offer, and we are doing a lot of work with our other associations, outside of Indian Hotels, like the CII platform, in how to make India a 12-month destination, and not just a destination between October and March, and not just for tourists coming in, but I think the way the Indian markets are performing, Indian businesses are advancing, even international corporate travel will be on the rise than we have seen in the pre-COVID era.
Now, in India, we can see that the uptick in the hospitality industry is back. Personal experiences, what we understand from our friends when we try to book a hotel room, whether it's business or leisure. But your international business, what is the trend there like in terms of occupancy? When I say international business, I'm talking about your global business.
So we recently opened our third property in Dubai, the Taj Exotica on the Palm, which is off to a flying start, profitable for the owners from the very first month. And that takes our total to 800 rooms in Dubai, and we will be adding a few hundred more in the next 2 years when we open the Dera waterfront, taking our total to 4 hotels, and all 4 are on management contract basis. Maldives has been the winner of the pandemic. I think that was one of the most preferred destinations also for people from the Indian subcontinent. London is beginning to pick up quite well. There is also a centenary celebration coming ahead in June. So I think London is picking up very well. New York has started showing signs of recovery. San Francisco is lagging behind. So is Cape Town, because Cape Town, this is the winter time, the real, the season there, the summers come in October to March. So high season for them is around that time. But we did benefit in the first quarter as Indian cricket team was staying there. So I think all in all, the international businesses are doing fine. There is one area of worry and there is one area of concern which we are working on a daily basis or several times a day, and that is Sri Lanka. But I remain optimistic that the world will unite itself and will find a way to help Sri Lanka come out of this crisis. But that's the only place where we have 3 hotels, and we think there is a lot of uncertainty of what happens in the next 3 to 6 months.
Okay, Mr. Chhatwal, always great having you on the show, and good luck. I must say that your stock is already the top performer right now, 5% higher. So that's really a big buzzer this morning.